Hey everyone, my name is Daniel, and today I am super excited to show you the new Agent Builder experience in BizChat. So I'm going to show you how in the Microsoft 365 Copilot's business chat function, you can now come and create agents either by giving it a description or directly come and configure it yourself without a single line of code. And I'll also show you how you can build an agent that refers to your SharePoint online site. And guess what? There is a new feature which is available that really is going to get you excited. So stick around because not only is this fun and exciting, but it will also help you make that informed decision if you now want to build this absolute no-code agent using BizChat. But first, here's my intro video. So let's get started. There are three places where you can go and build your Copilot agent. Two of them are from the browser. So for the first one, if you are on office.com on your homepage, when you go and click on Copilot, it'll become office.com/chat, and on the right side, you will see create agents. The second one is also on the browser, but instead of office.com, if you go to your Microsoft365.com, and over here, it looks almost the exact same as the office.com. On the left, you will see Copilot, and the URL also changes to Microsoft365.com/chat. And if you go to the right side, you will also see create agents. The third one is from your desktop. So if you go to your Microsoft Teams and assume this is my desktop Microsoft Teams, when you go to your Copilot, on the right side, you will also see create agents. So two on the browser, one on the desktop. Second important point is the requirements. And as you've already guessed it, all of this has to do with the Microsoft 365 Copilot and its business chat functionality, the BizChat. So it's very important that all of the users, both the maker and the end user, needs to have that Microsoft 365 Copilot license. It's not that only the makers have it and the end users don't. No, you need both of them, the makers of the Copilot assistants and the end users. Both of them need this Copilot 365 license. So for the rest of this video, I'm going to go and close out this Teams and focus on the Microsoft365.com/chat. And let's get familiar with this whole creating the agent functionality. So once again, if you've got the Microsoft 365 Copilot license assigned, if you come to the right, you will see this create agents functionality. And if you click on it, this pop-up window arrives, which is where you can actually go and create your own agent. Yes, it's directly inside your Microsoft 365 Copilot. I don't even have to go to the Copilot Studio. Now, the functionality that you see over here to basically describe what your agent should do is very similar because this is something we have available in Copilot Studio as well. You give it a good description of what this should do, and it'll actually build that agent for you. So let's go and try this over here. Now, first thing you will notice always is on the top, it'll say My Copilot Agent. And I'll show you more about that, but just keep that agent name in mind. Next thing in my prompt or the discussion that I'm having, the first thing I'm going to say is your name is bot for bricks, and you will assist me to gather any information needed about Lego. You guessed it, this is going to be about Lego information. So I'll go and click on enter, and now the bot is going to respond back to me. So it's going to go and give me a response back. I'm waiting, and it says, great, your Copilot will be named bot for bricks. Let's hold on over there. See on the top left, see how that name changed? So it immediately takes into reference what you just told it and automatically apply it. Second thing, on the right side, did you now see 6 of these prompts or suggestions automatically came up? I'll show you where you can find those and change them, but this is pretty awesome. Remember, this is absolutely no code, but how Copilot is also giving you this suggestive information right off the bat, okay? No thought is put in by us. It automatically does some great research and goes and puts this information. But let's continue, right? So we say, great, your Copilot will be named Bot for Bricks and will assist users in gathering any information needed about Lego. Do you have any instructions for how your Copilot should assist? For example, a specific tone? Yeah, I actually do have one. I'm going to say yes, use a humorous, informal tone. I go ahead and give it this information. It is actually absorbing that and it says, great, got it. Your Copilot will use a humorous and informal tone. Are there any topics or tasks the Copilot shouldn't help with or talk about? I'll say yes. If users ask questions about purchase price, then do not respond back with any cost. Respond back stating prices may vary depending on your country and where you purchase from. Go ahead and provide that into the Copilot Studio, and Copilot will go ahead and now factor that in. It says understood, goes and gives me a whole spiel. One more thing though I want to tell it, and right over here, okay, I'm going to go and paste it and says the Lego information should come from the following 3 websites. These are the 3 websites I personally am very familiar with. First is obviously lego.com. Second one is rebrickable.com. You may have heard me talk about that in the other videos or any of the sessions you attended of mine. And then the third one is bricklink.com as well. Very common 3 websites. I'll go ahead and make sure that the Copilot Studio actually goes ahead and reference it. So it will take this information into account and it's going to respond back with, I'm sorry, but I can't directly use or reference specific websites for this information. However, I can help guide users to these websites for more information. And you know what? As I think about what the agent told me, it actually makes sense because I am not referencing or quote unquote advertising this website. I just want to use it for information. So what the bot actually or the agent came and told me is exactly what it is. So I'm good. I have no further changes. I'm going to say no further changes. I'm done with it. The last response it's going to go and give me is, all right, let's test out your Copilot. Perfect. Now, before we go and do this, on the top right, you see a draft has already been done. It is auto-saved. So all this work and conversation that we've had so far is not lost, all right? You don't actually have to come and create it. It is already gone and done a auto-save in the draft. So if you now go and switch over to the configure piece, you will actually already see all this information automatically put in. And this is where we can tweak some stuff. So first of all, the name, you know, the one on the top that automatically changed, the bot for bricks name, if you had to change it or go and give it a logo, this is where you can come and change it. Next thing, description. The description is good. Assist users in gathering any information needed about Lego. That's actually one of the things we gave. That's actually the definition we gave in the discussion. The instructions, the most important thing to make sure that this agent is going to function the way that you want it in this no-code manner. And so you can see it's got everything over here. The bot name, what websites we are going to go and use to provide information from, and also to make sure that if the users ask purchase price, decline to assist or help anything. All that important information we gave to the bot is in this instruction. So this is where you can come and tweak all the information about the bot right here in this instructions. And always keep this in the back of your mind that this is a no-code technique, all right? So we don't have any other topics or any other things happening. This is all based on this conversation. Now, there are other things that will be coming soon. There is actions over here where we can go and pull all the information. But remember, this is in the early stages of building this agent. So right now, actions is not available, but it is coming soon. Now, there is also the knowledge functionality. Now, you know what knowledge is. Knowledge is the existing knowledge that you have in your company. And that could be very possibly a SharePoint site. So for this no-code technique of building agent directly in your Microsoft 365 Biz Chat, SharePoint is the main knowledge over here. So you can go and put it 2 ways. You can go ahead and click on the browse, and now all the SharePoint sites that you have access to show up over here. Also, you can go and put in URLs. Now, I'll go and show you another example of building an agent focused purely on SharePoint. That one I promise you will blow your mind, but just hold on for a few minutes. Let's finish this one. All right, here is where the starter prompts come in. Now, these 6 that you see over here, they are the exact same on the right-hand side. So let's go through a few of them. It says find Lego sets, love it. Find building tips, love it. Lego events, I'll go and keep that over here. Lego history, definitely love that. Lego instructions, definitely want to keep that. But the Lego community, I don't really want that yet. So I'm going to go and click on the recycle box. And when I do that, it takes it away from the right. So you do understand, like, you have full control about putting all this information over here. The only thing is you've got a limit of putting up to 6. 6 is the max that you can put right now. So be careful, think about it, be precise as to what you need over here. All right, so I like everything that I see over here. So now I'm going to go and click on create. It is going ahead and creating. Right over here is a pop-up window. It says creating your agent. Keep this window open until creation is completed. Nice, the agent has been created successfully. Now, right in this little window, there is a lot to go ahead and grasp. So let's spend a few minutes here. First of all is the URL. So I'm just going to go and copy this URL. It says link copied. Open up another tab because I want you and I to focus a little bit on it. First of all, see the URL. It's Microsoft365.cloud.microsoft/apps, temp ID, all that is good. But if I scroll a little bit to the right, you see that environment? That is where I started getting some tips that environment is your Power Platform environment. And if you don't believe me, I'll prove it to you. Check this out. Environment equals this GUID, which starts with default. See how it ends with 71C 2280. Watch this, right? I'm going to go into my make.powerapps.com. I'm just doing Power Apps. You could do Power Automate as well. Once I'm in my make.powerapps.com, it has taken me to a different environment, but I'll go to the top right. I'm going to select my default one, all right? The Christian Family Upgrade, that is my default one. Right over here, you see that URL? Let me actually pull this tab out so you can do a comparison. See that side by side? You see that URL? That on the top is the URL that you and I just pasted from that pop-up window. This is the URL of my default environment. This is what gave me a little clue that right now when you're building these agents in the Biz apps, it actually does get stored in your default environment. One thing I know is that the agent is actually being saved somewhere in the backend on the Power Platform side. So thought I'll share that with you. Let me go and close this browser over here. Let me go and close that tab. So here was the URL. Now let's go and click on the change sharing settings. And there are 3 different options. I like that the default one is only you because let's face it, you could be still testing this and you don't want to go and share that with everyone in your company. So I love the default setting. It is only with you. First one though is anyone in your organization. Now, remember, in order for this to work, everybody in your organization will need to have that Microsoft 365 Copilot license, all right? You have to have that. So that's one thing. Second one is specific users in your organizations. So you can do it both ways. You can actually go and put in email addresses or security group names. So if I go and now start typing in my security group names, these are the ones that I get. So now I did this as a test because when I heard security groups, I was a little confused. Is this the Entra ID security groups or could they also be Microsoft 365 groups? And I can tell you that that text over here is very specific. Currently, it's only the Entra ID security groups. So if you've got a security groups in your Entra ID, what you and I previously knew as Azure AD, if there's a security group over there, then these security groups will show up. And I usually go and put in my security groups as a postfix SG. S stands for security, G stands for group. So I just typed in SG and all of them showed up. So I know that security groups show up over here. But when I went ahead and tried in names of my other Microsoft 365 groups, such as Microsoft Forms, there's nothing over there. Like these other Microsoft 365 groups, I know I have them, they would not show up. So that's a very important thing you need to know of, is it only works for security groups right now. So these are the 3 options that you have as far as sharing goes. For now, I'm going to select only you because this is a test, and I can go and click on cancel because it's already shared with me. Now what I can do is click on Go Agent, and it's going to go ahead and directly take me inside this biz chat area over here, and it has already gone ahead and loaded my bot for bricks. Other place that you see it is on the right side. So you see over here, these are the other agents that I've built, but now I also have bot for bricks. So keep in mind, it would be helpful to go and start giving it some logo images so that you can actually immediately see which one is which, but it's all over here. And if you really like this bot really much, you can come on the right and click on pin, and it will automatically go up on the top as well. You can always unpin it, but it will always be that way. But right over here, you now have those 4 suggestions that we've given, and the bot should actually work. So let's do a test, all right? I'm going to say, find information about Lego part number 3031. All right, so it's saying, okay, looking for it, combing through all the sites, and there you go. It's actually getting me all this information, and it is referencing those websites I told it to. Pretty neat, because now I can directly go and click on it, and it does everything. I wish it would have given me images, but right now it's just not there yet. But the links are pretty good because specifically over here, if I go ahead and now click on that, it will directly open up another tab. And now I can actually come and see what that image looks like. So it's not too bad, but images would be a nice thing to have. Cool. So the bot seems to work. Everything is good. Now, Daniel, what happens if I have to go and edit it? Completely fine. You come back to the right over here. You click on Create Agents. And on the drop down, you will see View All Agents. And voila, that is your bot for Bricks. You see the pencil next to it, you click on it, and now you directly come into the configuration page over here where you can go and do more changes that you want. Changes could be, I actually want to go ahead and now remove some of my starter prompts, change it, completely fine. I want to actually change some of the instructions. I want to actually go and put in the logo. All of that can be directly done over here because you have full access to it. It's not that you've lost it. Other things you can do on the top right where the ellipsis is, click on it because you can actually download the entire bot. Its zipped file is right over here. So you've got that flexibility as well. And for some reason in the future, if you want to troubleshoot it, you can click on the help, click on the get support, and it will go ahead and give you this information that you need. Agent ID, session ID, your tenant ID, all that is available over here as well. So I'm going to go and click on close because there's one important thing over here as well. That is the delete. So you do have the flexibility to go ahead and delete, but once it's deleted, currently there is no way to go ahead and find it in a recycle bin. There is no bin for these agents over here, all right? So be very, very careful to go and delete it. Hopefully in the future, there is some recycle bin for it that you can go and retrieve your agent from. But right now, that is it. You delete it, it is gone, all right? So be very, very careful about that. Now, this is also where you can go and find that share. Because remember, when the bot was first created, where the permissions were, the 3 permissions, it gave us the link. But think about it that you've tested it and you want people to go and start using it. This is how you can go and share it. Click on share, copy it once, and then send that URL to other people. Because once you go and get this URL, because let's go and open up another tab, click over here, like this is somebody else who's got the Microsoft 365 Copilot license. They click on this link, they come over here. They see this window, this comes up, and then they have to go and click on open only once. That will take them into their Copilot Biz Chat area. And then after that, they will always see their bot. So that's the key difference. You as the maker will always see it, but now if you want to start sharing this with other people, you've got to go ahead and give them that link, and then they will only click on it once and it shows up over here. So that's the process right now. Things may change a little bit different. But other than that, the bot is pretty awesome. We just did some nice testing. I showed you how you can go and editing, but let's take it to the next level. Let's now use SharePoint as its knowledge. So for this demo, here is my criteria. I should be able to go to my SharePoint site, a very specific SharePoint site. I have in my proof of concept a very specific document library. See, when I go to my site contents, I have this Microsoft products guide, and I've got a lot of documents over here. This is the information that I've been collecting about licenses. And instead of me creating a specific agent, I'd like to take a stab at this first. I already have the documents. Let's see how well this agent can go ahead and retrieve information from here. So keep this in mind that these files are all documents, all right? Because one thing it cannot do is go ahead and use images, or even PDF files could be images. Like if you have your OneDrive app and you're taking pictures of your receipts, guess what? That receipt is an image. Currently, those type of PDF files, which are images, will not work. These are actually structured documents and those work. So that's one thing, all right? Next thing I'm going to do is the actual site itself. So this site, if I come to the home page, that's the URL, all right? So we're going to try with that one. I'm deliberately doing this way because we'll go back and do a change later on, but at least let's start over here, all right? So I'll go and grab this URL, but remove the https://. Just start with the actual text piece over here. So I've gone ahead and grabbed that URL. Now let's go and start building our new agent. So here you go. I'm going to come to my create agent and I'm going to start giving it some messages. So the first thing I'm going to say is your name is Agent Black Widow and you will assist me to gather any information from my SharePoint. I'll go and click on enter. The agent responds back, I am here to help you build a custom Copilot. In a few sentences, how will your Copilot assist your users? Also noticed on the right side, we automatically go and have those 6 prompts over here. It says retrieve documents, search for files, share a file, access permissions, create a new folder, sync SharePoint and OneDrive. So I already know that this access permissions and sync SharePoint OneDrive, I'm not going to need those, so we'll take them out in a few minutes. But let's go and at least have a good dialogue over here with the Copilot Studio. I'm going to say, my primary information is available in the SharePoint site. This is the URL we just copied. When users ask questions, search through this site first to find the appropriate answers and respond back. Go ahead and click on enter. Now the Copilot Studio is going to respond back with, thank you for the information. Your Copilot will assist users by searching through the specified SharePoint site to find appropriate answers and then respond back. Do you have any instructions on how your Copilot should assist for? Example, a specific tone. So for this one, I'm going to say, yes, use an authoritative plus informative tone. Go and click on enter. And that just basically is telling the Copilot Studio that over here, it's not all about fun. There needs to be at least a good discussion tone over here. So he says, got it. Your Copilot will use an authoritative and informative tone when assisting users. Are there any topics or tasks this Copilot shouldn't help with or talk about? And for that, it says yes. And you've probably already guessed this. This is, if users ask questions about licenses, then do not respond back with any cost. Respond back stating, license prices may vary depending on the size and tier of your company. And then I'll go ahead and click on that enter over here, just to make sure that the Copilot Studio knows that, hey, do not mention anything when you hear about the L word, all right? This is understood. Your Copilot will not respond back with any cost, and everything is good. So he says, perfect, you are all set to test out in a Copilot. And just like before, on the top right, we see on the draft autosave, it is already saved. So what I'm going to do is this time I'm going to go and click on create. That way it is creating my agent. So we just have to wait. And there you go. It went ahead and gave us our URL and also the same share settings. Share settings are the same 3 ones. Default, it is only me. So I'm going to leave that as is. And then I'll go and click on go to agent. So when I do that, now it has directly taken us into our agent called Agent Black Widow, all right? So here we are right now, and you can see it's on the right side as well. Before I go and start testing it, I want to take a look at my SharePoint site. So back over here on our SharePoint site, let me go back into my site contents. And over here, I have something called as Microsoft Product Guides document library. I'll click on it. And one of the things is the Dynamics 365 licensing guide for October of 2024. The enhancements that were put in over here, right? It is a full-blown document on this site. As you can see, 61 pages. There is a lot of information over here, all right? So what I'm going to do now is I just want to use that as an example because I know that information is here. Let's see how good this Copilot Studio does it. So I'm going to go and start by saying something like this. This is, hi, any new information about Dynamics 365? And I'll go and click on enter. Now we are hoping that this thing is going to go and search through it. And guess what? It has given me an answer. But if I go and take a look at the footer, if I hover over it, on the bottom left, you will see that it's actually going to some websites. All right, it's already going to some websites. I am not seeing this agent reference the document that we have. And to me, that is the most important criteria. So let's go back into that agent. I'll click on this agent. I already see my Copilot agent over here, but if you did not, click on the drop down, select view all agents, and you would see your agent. So I'll go and click on this pencil, and a couple of things I'm going to do. First of all, I am going to turn off this web content. Turn it off so it doesn't go and search the internet. Let's try that first, all right? I'm going to go and click on now update. So it goes and makes sure that the bot has the most updated configuration. So it's updating my agent, and by that time, keep this window open. It still goes and gives me all the settings and URLs, but in this case, I'm just going to go and dismiss it because I know I already have the bot, all right? So now I'm just going to go and ask the exact same question. It says, hi, any new information about Dynamics 365? Click on it, click on enter. It is going ahead and giving me some information. It says, hello, yes, there are some exciting updates about Dynamics 365. Gives me all this information, but I'm not really sure this time if it is coming from my document. For a scenario like this, I'm going to share a tip with you because what I'm about to show you could not easily be done in the Copilot Studio site, but through this Biz App Agent Builder, it is so much more easier. So let's go take a look at it. I'm going to go back into my Create Agents. For some reason, I'm seeing blanks, so I'll click on the drop down, go to View All Agents and select this one. Now, I am going to make sure that in my browse, I'll go and click on the browse. I know that that is specifically on that POC site. Remember that POC site? So I'm going to go and click on that site, and now it loads all of these libraries because I can do just that. Instead of giving it a full site, I can drill down to a library level. And you and I know that the library that we want, the document library, is this one, Microsoft Products Guide. Just to be sure, that's the one, Microsoft Products Guide. So now I'm going to select that one. This is everything. I'll go and click on select right now. Make sure that it shows up over here. This is great. And you know I'm very excited because this was very hard to do in Copilot Studio, to drill down directly into a library level. But this is so easy over here, like absolutely no code. And once I've got it, I'll go and click on update. It is updating our agent. Make sure you keep this window open until the updating is completed. And voila, it is all done. So I can either click on go to an agent or I can X out. That's fine. I'll go and click on my go to agent. And now let's try that question one more time. It says, hi, any new updates about Dynamic 365? And I'll go and do that. It says, okay, I'll look for the latest updates about Dynamics 365. It is searching, combing through all the web results. It says, sure, Daniel, here are all the latest information. And now on the bottom, did you see that? It says, would you like more details of any of these updates? That's fine. But when I hover over it, you can see on the bottom left, the URL. This is not an external website. This is coming from your own SharePoint site. This is amazing because now it's happening directly out of the box, because I can always click on it and it'll open up that file. But it's also done some other things from my Office 365 Outlook. Or it also went and pulled it from Microsoft, which is fine because I know that at least I have got it from my own website. So this was a successful test, at least in my book, for these initial phases, because I can directly now access SharePoint, drill it directly down into a document library and get the information that I need. Now, coming back into this configuration, there's one last thing I want to show you, and that is right over here in the knowledge piece for your SharePoint. It says under SharePoint, it only handles these file types. There is the documents, PowerPoints, text, and HTML. These are the ones that can be in your SharePoint site. And you can add up to 20 of those. So it's important also to click on this learn more, because now you get an overview of what all this can do. So you've got access to access all these 3 URLs, which is what I showed you. And you also have these known limitations. Important one is for that SharePoint knowledge, you cannot add public URLs over there. So if over here, for example, if I went ahead and typed in that Lego one, if I did that and hit enter, it says this SharePoint site is not owned by our organization. So keep in mind is that this URL is only for SharePoint sites, because that's one of the things it says in the known limitations. But other than that, this just made your entire process of using your existing SharePoint knowledge in your Copilot Studio as an agent without a single line of code. So I want to end with what I started with, which was the excitement piece. One of them, I already showed it to you, is that how you can drill down to a document library level in your SharePoint and the agent will get information from that. But the second one is that now you do not have to create an Entra ID app. That is, you don't have to go ahead and register an app at the Entra ID, go ahead and get all the information, and then make your Copilot Studio with that. You no longer have to do that. Why? Because you are using your Microsoft 365 Copilot's Biz Chat, which means through that, your authentication goes through and it respects your authentication. So if you are using a SharePoint site, but some other users who are accessing that chat do not have access to the SharePoint site, they won't get that information. Why? Because it respects the user level information. Now there's some workarounds for that too. Yes, you can go and put in the security groups. Remember that pop-up window that came up? If you added a security group over there, that security group will get you access to that SharePoint site. So keep that in mind as well, but no longer the need for Entra ID app registration. It automatically does that for you. And that got me very excited. So hopefully this video is useful to you. Get in there, start playing with the agent, go ahead and leverage specifically to your SharePoint sites and see how the magic works. Hello, hello, hello. So if you like this video, go ahead and click on that subscribe button and smash that like button. Also, if you have a few extra seconds, can you go ahead and put in a comment? Either say something nice or give me ideas for my next video. And until then, see ya.